Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In light of the food shortages that I'm seeing in my area, the things that we're seeing as headlines on the news and on the internet, I wanted to give an updated pantry tour and talk about some things that you can do to prepare your family for what may or may not be ahead. I want to start off by saying this will never be a doom and gloom kind of channel. That's not who I am. I'm an eternal optimist. I am a glass half full kind of girl all the time. I feel like no matter what the circumstances are, there's always hope, there's always positivity to look for, and there's always things to be thankful for. But in light of that, I'm also not the kind of person who's going to bury my head in the sand or turn a blind eye to hard things that are coming down the pipeline or even that we're facing now. It's the beginning of November. For most families, that means payday and it's time to go grocery shopping. By the first of every month, I usually have a pretty long running list that I've been creating for the last week or two to get at the grocery store. Now, my most frequented grocery stores are Sam's, Aldi, and Walmart. My first trip of every month usually involves a lot of stocking up, refilling the holes in the pantry from what we've used the month before. As I said in our initial pantry tour, we have a working pantry. So although we have a good bit of food storage for our family of 10, we use that on a daily basis. We're rotating through it every month. This month, when I went to Sam's in the larger city close by, I was really surprised by how much they did not have in stock. Their spices were down to the bare minimum: salt, pepper, garlic powder. I had quite a list of spices that I was wanting to stock back up on, and I found none of them. Also, bread flour. Bread flour on the Sam's website seems to be sold out nationwide. I haven't seen it in our Sam's in over a month. Let's take a walk through my pantry and see where I've been filling in holes, what I'm going to do about the things that I can no longer find right now, and how moving forward we can best prepare our families for the shortages we're going to see over the next 12 to 18 months. I should probably start off by saying space is almost always going to be an issue. I feel like in my house I am in a constant state of reorganizing, reevaluating, purging. Oh, I love to purge. Today, as I unloaded my Walmart grocery stuff, I had to reorganize a lot of the things in our pantry. I had to move some things around. I had to take things out of the pantry that really probably just don't belong there and make room for the actual food. So I'm going to show you other areas in the kitchen as well that I have moved things around, made the best use of our space. As I said in my previous video, I try to put the things that we need the least often at the very top. Those big cans of fruit and corn that you can see at the top, and those extra jars and paper goods, those are things that we are not going to need on a regular basis. Maybe the plastic forks and napkins, but my tall children can reach those more easily for me. All right, on this second shelf, I have really upped our oats. Friends, one of the things that you need to be thinking about is shortening your supply chain. One of the things that we probably can't easily get from local growers are going to be our grains. We could get corn, but we're not going to find oats, wheat, rice, certainly, from a local source. So those are some things that we're focusing on stocking up a little more on. So I got a few extra containers of oats this month. Our corn muffin mix supply is doing pretty well. Aldi finally had their Asian sauces back in, which are our favorites. We like to keep General Tso's, teriyaki, and sweet and sour sauce. Those are an excellent way to make a simple vegetable fried rice or stir fry a little more appealing, especially for children if you have a yummy sauce to add to that. We still have quite a bit of barbecue sauce, lots of peanut butter, mayonnaise, corn. I have finally been able to find corn, not necessarily in these 14.5-ounce cans. Actually, I can see right now that they're 13-ounce cans now. I don't know if you have heard the term shrinkflation lately, but product sizes are shrinking and the prices are either staying the same or they're going up. It's kind of wild how quickly it's happening. But I have found several of the extra large, like cafeteria size cans of corn that are in the very back there. And then also some family size, like 29.5 ounce or 28 ounce cans. I went ahead and kind of stocked up on those. We don't go through a lot of corn, but it's still nice to have in the pantry. Soy sauce, salsa, pimentos. Condiments are always important to have as well. Similarly to spices, you can take something simple and make it a lot more palatable if you have condiments and spices to add. I tried these new, well, they're new to me. I haven't tried them before. Sugar-free salad dressings. I'm looking forward to trying those. All right, this is the spot on my pantry shelf. You can see that I intended to paint and stopped. This is the spot where normally my 10-quart Instant Pot resides, but it's still in the kitchen from yesterday. And then I've got my mixer and my 8-quart Instant Pot. Now, I'm thinking I'm going to move these appliances to somewhere else. I've got space on the top of our large upright freezer in the laundry room, and I think that'll be a better use of that space, and I can free up this pretty large shelf for food. Something that I just started buying last month is this Buttermilk Pancake mix from Sam's. They're huge bags for like $6 or $7. That one bag that you see on the left, we've been using for over a month and we're not through it. We make a big batch of pancakes for dinner, usually on Sunday nights, which is kind of funny. We don't usually have them for breakfast. It's for dinner. And so we've used that at least 4 times, and we still haven't gone through the bag. So it's good to know that one bag, and it's a just add water mix, and that's why I thought it was going to be really smart to have on hand. Think about, if you run out of butter, if you run out of eggs, you want some products on hand that you can use by just adding simple things like water. I don't have the best storage area for chips, so right now these are just in my giant mixing bowl, and here on this bottom shelf we've got chips that will last the whole month. As I've said before, my kids on Tuesdays when it's date night, they have grilled cheese sandwiches and fruit and veggies and chips. Also, sometimes we like to have nachos. In this mason jar box, we've got a stash of croutons because we eat large salads at least once a week for supper. Up here next to my Instant Pot, we've got our rice and grains and pasta. So we have lentils and all kinds of different rices, spaghetti noodles, angel hair, lasagna noodles, and whenever we want regular egg noodles, usually I'll just make them. Homemade pasta is so easy and it's delicious, and there's just something about making it fresh that's so good. And then over here, we've got the minestrone in a jar that I have a video on. I can link below on how to do that. And then French onion soup and dip mix. Those are just the kind of things that are nice to have. I don't typically have recipes on our normal rotation that uses things like that, but occasionally I'll add a packet to some sour cream and we'll have French onion dip. Or you can add it to a roast in the crock pot. That is delicious. And I think my meatloaf recipe calls for 1 packet of onion soup mix. And then, as I said in a previous video, this is my very favorite Spanish rice seasoning. It's just called Red. I get it in the Hispanic section at the grocery store. This giant pack of Velveeta was an impulse buy last month at Sam's. I just thought, my kids love mac and cheese, and if there comes a time when we don't have fresh cheese available, or we can't get cheese at the grocery store, or that becomes one of the shortage items, then at least we'll have some Velveeta that we can mix with water or powdered milk and pasta and have some pretty good mac and cheese. Up here on the top in the center, we still have extra mason jars and those oil lamps, and you'll see over here to the right, standing on its side, a case of cranberry sauce. I've been hearing things about shortages coming for the holidays, and that if you already have your menu planned, it would be really wise to go ahead and get what you need. So I picked those up at Sam's last month on a whim, and I'm glad I did. All right, I haven't purchased any more ramen. I think I've got 8 cases total, and we haven't touched it since the last pantry tour. It's really just kind of an emergency stash, or occasionally it's used as a comfort food in the winter. All right, that giant bottle of refill Cholula I bought on Amazon because we could not find Cholula hot sauce for months here. I couldn't find it online. I couldn't find it at any grocery store I went to, so I ordered this big refill bottle, not really thinking about the fact that I didn't have a pourable bottle to put it in, but we ended up reusing another hot sauce bottle. And since then, I have been able to find Cholula at Costco. Now, I don't know if you watched my first pantry tour, but I have majorly restocked our applesauce. We intended to go apple picking in October, and the month just flew by, and we were getting reports that none of the apple orchards that we typically go to had you pick this year. Apparently, a late frost earlier in this year really affected the apple production, and a lot of the apple orchards just didn't have the quantity that they have in years past. So I decided, you know what? These jars of unsweetened applesauce from Walmart, they're less than $2. It was going to save me a ton of time and money to just go ahead and restock our shelf rather than driving a couple hours away and then all the time and effort that goes into making homemade applesauce. I plan to restart that next month, or not next month, next year. But for now, at least we've got what we need on the shelves. On this next shelf, we have canned pumpkin, some canned collards, as well as curry paste. I restocked our generic Rotel tomatoes this month. I also restocked our cream of chicken. I don't use cream of soup mixes very often, but I have found that it's really easy to throw a recipe together with cream of chicken or cream of mushroom. If you've got pasta and a meat and a veggie, and then a can of soup or two, and mix a little water or cheese in, and that's a nice quick supper. We've got quite a bit of coconut milk that we use for Thai and Indian dishes. In fact, I'm using 2 of those cans tonight for creamy coconut lentil curry. That is a favorite. I also make homemade naan. We haven't had it in a while. I think my kids will look forward to that. All right, down here we have enchilada sauce. Behind the green enchilada sauce is some red, and then refried beans. As I've said many times, we love Mexican food. I'm sure it's not authentic, but we love quite a few recipes that are on our master supper list. Black olives, artichoke hearts, green chilies. I still have it on my to-do list to make homemade enchilada sauce, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. Crushed tomatoes. As I've said before, crushed tomatoes are really versatile. You can use it to make tomato soup, tomato juice, just buzz it in the blender, marinara sauce, all kinds of uses. It's really a versatile tomato product, and it's one of my favorites to keep on hand. Over here, we've got homemade cowboy candy and some dehydrated celery, along with some home canned tomato products. In the back on the right there, you'll see some breadcrumbs, along with some brownie mix. I try to keep brownie mix and some cake mixes on hand in case I forget to prepare for having friends over or even a birthday party. Next to these jars of home canned stuff, we've got chocolate chips in this basket of pepperoni. We have pizza night every Friday, so we try to keep quite a bit of pepperoni in the pantry. We go through about a bag a week when we're making homemade calzones or pizzas. These jars of home canned goodies are apple pie filling, actually from last year. There's cowboy candy, pickled banana peppers, homemade chicken stock, and a variety of jams and jellies. We have peach preserves, fig preserves, honeysuckle jelly, all kinds of good stuff. YouTube is being glitchy today and not allowing me to upload this entire video, so I'm splitting it into 2 parts. Part 2 will be published shortly. Until then, thanks for watching.